This is going to be a short and sweet video. I know it's a little bit late for Christmas DIYs, but I had this last one I wanted to share with you. I found this ornate lamp at my local thrift store and have been wanting to make a North Pole post using something like this. The first thing I want to do is paint it, but I want to keep those mirror pieces as they are. So I used painter's tape to painstakingly cover all of the mirrors. I made sure the tape was longer than the area being covered, and then I used a knife to cut it down. The lamp section is going to be the base of the North Pole post, and for the top, I'm using one of these lanterns that I've had left over from my wedding. I'm going to paint both pieces the same color, so I need to remove the glass here. There were just tabs holding them in place that I lifted up and slid the glass right out. It was super easy. And I don't mind if the gems get painted, so I left those uncovered. Now I can paint the lamp and lantern. I took them out to my garage and I used the color Heirloom White, only because I don't have a true bright white spray paint on hand. I didn't want to paint these by hand either. That would have taken way too long with all of these little details and not looked nearly as smooth and clean. So for now, it's looking a little bit more off-white. And I gave both parts 2 coats of spray paint. It was a little difficult to get inside of the lantern because I couldn't spray it upside down with that ring on top of it. So once the first coat was dry, I laid it down on its side to try and get inside the best I could. So since it's cold outside this time of year and I didn't bring the lamp and the lantern inside at all to warm up, when I put the second coat of paint on, it did this weird bubbling thing. I'm guessing because both the metal and the spray paint were colder than they should have been. I'm not really sure how to go about fixing that, so I just let it go, but note to self, make sure the objects you're spray painting are not too cold. Next, I'm taking this pearl mica powder to rub all over both parts. I really want this North Pole post to be metallic and shimmery. It's pretty difficult to see the difference on camera, but I also learned that you want your object to be a little bit tacky, and that way the mica powder will stick a little bit better. Some of you may have seen my community tab post. Unfortunately, we had to put Sarge down on Thanksgiving Day. His cancer just got the best of him. That was such a devastating day for our family, and we all miss him so much. But you're gonna see 2 new friends in the background. My husband got a Cane Corso puppy, and I got a French Bulldog puppy. They can't exactly be left alone at this stage, so I need to bring my crafting to where they are. They're gonna be in a lot of videos for a while. Once I was done with the mica powder, I want to attach the lantern to the lamp base. But first I need to remove the prongs that hold the lampshade on. The wire to plug in the lamp was also connected to this part, and I don't want to keep this as a lamp, so I ended up cutting the wire. There was also this metal threaded part on the top of the lamp that I don't want either, so my husband cut it off with a metal cutting saw blade. Now I can glue the lantern on top, and I'm using E6000 for a strong hold and let this set up and dry overnight. I love how this is coming together so far. Next, we need to add some red to give a more Christmassy North Pole feel. I bought this red gilding wax from Amazon. I'll link it down in my description box for you, and I'm going to apply it to select areas of the lamp and lantern. Now, this stuff doesn't do well on a slick surface, and my spray paint was a satin finish, plus we added that mica powder on top, so the surface is super smooth. At first I wasn't sure if it was going to work at all, but turns out it just wasn't going to work with my finger. So I switched to a small paintbrush, and that worked out much better. However, I did have to pat the gilding wax on and not rub it. This was probably the most tedious part of the whole project. I wanted the X's to be red on the lantern portion. That took quite a while to do. I added 2 layers of the red gilding wax. The first layer had to dry completely before I could add on the second, otherwise it would just pull up what I had already put down. At this point, I almost forgot that I had taped off the mirrors when spray painting the lamp base, so I removed the tape now, and then I kept going with the red details. I pretty much added red onto all of the smooth sections that didn't have some type of filigree. Like I said, I had to add 2 layers of the red gilding wax, especially on these larger sections. Here you can see what a difference it makes, and the red becomes a lot more opaque. And the last thing I did was remove the ring that was on the top of the lantern. This just looked a little bit too plain, and the original lamp had a more decorative topper, so I spray painted that and added the mica powder to it as well. Now I just need to clean up the glass and insert it back into the lantern, and that's it for this project. I know it's only a few days before Christmas, but maybe this will give you some inspiration for next year.